Well,
I want to see dope-ass Guts with the arm cannon.
the arm cannon. He's still got a cool sword back, like, when they're doing that. But, like...
It doesn't have the Zoro eye or the cool cape or the... Guts... This is a man. When I see, like... This is what made me fall in love with Berserk initially. In high school, like, just the design of this guy.
Well, yeah, Guts is fucking awesome.
One of the most badass anime character.
Yeah, but, like the reason... So, the structure of the Berserk manga is that, like... It goes from...
We should just hit record.
I am recording.
Oh, you are? Oh, shit. I didn't realize.
See, I'm slick with it. But the structure of the Berserk manga is that, like, it starts off current day, goes for, like, 1 volume, and then immediately goes into a, like, 6-volume flashback.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then by the time you get back to the modern, like, where it is on that cover, you're just like... Oh, what the fuck? That was happening. Like, you just... Because it just feels like the whole story is, like, like back with Griffith and all them. You totally forget that anything other than that exists. Like, you're like, oh, that's a story. And you're like, oh, fuck. Wait, that was a flashback.
It's all a flashback.
It's the longest flashback. But not only that, is, like, the story barely happens in this first volume. And then, like, immediately goes into the longest fucking flashback ever.
It feels just like Zoe to me.
Yeah, except for Zoe's short as fuck.
No, but just in the time I was watching it, I
kept
getting hypnotized into the feeling that, like, oh my god, is this happening? Or, no, wait, this is a flashback. Wait, oh my god, I keep forgetting.
To be fair, sometimes Sanji was on screen. I was like, Jamal, this is not a flash, or this is a flashback.
Oh my god. But, yeah.
Sanji's not here.
Maybe the reason why I keep doing that is because, like, half the time when we're watching this, it's always, like, 1 a.m. and I'm, like, half asleep.
I know. This is why I constantly go, whoa, what'd you think about that, Jamal? Just to make sure you're paying attention.
And I did last time you asked me.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised. I was like, oh, yeah. You
Doflamingo said this and that.
The treasure.
Yeah.
Your lack of, like, holy shit with the straw hat. It was like...
Yeah.
By the way, spoilers for anybody who has not read One Piece.
And, oh yeah, huge spoiler. Oh
god. God. Okay, so real quick. Who are you, Jamal? Who are you? Good buddy of mine. All the viewers out there, clearly, this is episode 1, so strong viewership already. But introduce yourself. Like, who? What do you do?
Hello, everybody who's watching, who will be watching. I'm Jamal. I guess the most prominent thing I could say about me currently is that I'm an artist, more specifically a pixel artist. And I have a Twitter account at twitter.com/Ninjamal with 2 eyes.
Look at himself immediately.
Self-promotion right away. No.
It's usually the end of these things.
I know. But this is my first time doing a podcast. Give me some...
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all good. It's all good.
But I do have a fine interest in pixel art and sprites and sprite animation. It's been a thing with me since I was a little kid, just playing games on Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, and NES. And I thought I could just make my imagination go wild the minute I picked up on it. And it's just been a bit of a life-changing thing for me, especially now these past couple years, because... I've been focusing a lot on that, gaining a lot of confidence to do a lot of other things and pursue a lot of other creative things in my life, including other forms of art, etc. And yeah, that's just like one aspect of me.
Yeah, and look at you now. You got the G-Shock on.
The G-Shock
and,
on.
And the Nike and the pink Nike hoodie.
Pink Nike that I found at Burlington for like $20.
Oh, that's $20. That was $20.
I got this for $20.
That's a nice hoodie.
Yeah, it was perfect timing because I was craving a pink hoodie at the time and I didn't know where to go besides H&M. And I just stopped at Burlington after work, and I just saw it in my size, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a perfect time. I can't pass this opportunity. It's a Nike hoodie for $20. But,
Mom just peeked in.
Well... But anyways, I'm also very fashionable. I mean, I like to be. I'm a very big fan of just clothing and clothing brands. I used to be into a lot of skateboarding culture as well.
Some might say addicted to spying sneakers that you won't wear.
I'm gonna wear them. I just...
All right, let's list them off. You got the purple Jordan 1s.
Yes.
Have not been laced.
Nope.
You got the waffles. Seen them worn, not in a long time.
No, I haven't worn those.
No, I know. I just said that.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
I literally
I didn't
just
pick
said
up on
that.
it.
I don't know. Have you? I think you've worn most of your things. I'm just talking shit.
Well, the only sneakers that I bought this year that I have worn are the Air Force Ones, and I've worn those pretty often.
Yeah, well, because that's like an easy. It's like my Stan Smiths. Like Stan Smiths, I could get them for like $40. So like, I'll just wear them whenever they get dirty. They got stepped on at Pierbourne.
Yeah.
Somebody did a shuffle on them, and I just
I remember that, yeah.
and so like it's like all right, whatever. Like the dudes outside Pierbourne when we went at Toads were like, "You're gonna wear white sneakers in here?" I'm like, "Bro, I bought these for $40."
Yeah, I think I wore them too. I just, well, my Air Force Ones anyway. They're just my beater sneakers for me to wear with anything. They're not very like.
Yeah, like I haven't worn my Jordans in a long time, but like half the time I'm not even going out, so it's
Exactly.
like I'm just like I just want to throw my Stans on, or just like if I'm going walking, I just throw on whatever. It like doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's just fucking how it is. But yeah, what were you gonna say?
That's just probably the biggest reason I haven't worn any of the new sneakers this year, including the two we just mentioned and the mystery of origin off-white UNCs.
Oh yeah, you bought fake off-whites, right?
I don't know if they're fake or not, but I'd rather not waste time trying to authenticate them and just feel anxious about the whole thing. I'd rather just wear them and enjoy them as is. I don't really care.
You know, I've lived by a motto that's basically I trust anything that comes from China.
There are Nike factories in China.
Oh, I know. That's where all of them are.
Oh, okay.
That in Vietnam.
Fair enough.
How do you think it's so cheap, bro?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The reasoning behind them being so cheap is, in some cases, very dark.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, most cases.
Yeah.
It's not like Nike on its own has a lot of sweatshops.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it's like it's an interesting dilemma with like clothing or like food. Like I remember I was talking about like Chick-fil-A, and it's like, oh, Chick-fil-A, they don't support like they support like organizations that are like anti-LGBTQ
Right.
and like whatnot, and it's like, is it ethical to go eat there and whatnot? And it's like, I don't know. Like obviously I don't like that, but sometimes I just want food, or like I really like the quality of Nike clothes for the price.
Right.
So it's like, yeah. What I'm saying is I wish I was a more virtuous man.
It's one of those things that you don't really think about when it comes up.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we all have like our things we gotta like, you know, that weigh on you, because it's like so much shit is unethical when you think about it. Like the most business in America, like shit we buy, is just like supply chains of how things are, and like tech products. Have you ever heard of like e-waste, where there's just like in like Asia there's just like fucking dumps of giant like computers and shit, like because like what happens when this phone's outdated?
Right.
What do you do with it? It's like, no, it just goes into a dump.
Boom.
And then there's just like and people scour those in these Asian countries for like parts and start like selling the parts and all this shit. It's crazy. Like us in America like have no comprehension of what it's like living in other parts of the world.
Like shit like that is something you hear of in like cartoons.
Yeah, like you'd see that in Star Wars.
Yeah, but I'm like, speaking of which, you also have cartoons which stemmed from the same minstrels from the era where they were just performing blackface and rocking those gloves. That's where the gloves come from. That's why Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny.
That's just like the aesthetic, correct?
Yeah.
Or was the intention behind cartoons also like somewhat racist? Or is it just like we want to make entertainment, and by that, like, you know, like you look at jokes from the 2000s and some of them do not age well.
I think it stemmed from that because there's so many attributes in early cartoon characters that were derived from the minstrels, like using blackface and whatnot.
I think, yeah, it was just like a really racist time, so entertainment just by nature was racist. But like they weren't like, I don't think they were, I don't know. They might not have been intentionally been going into that like,
no.
Let's be racist as fuck. They just, their sense of humor was so skewed that that's why it was like that.
Yeah, over time it just kind of like had a whole new meaning, and that's
Yeah.
why you see characters like Sonic and Mario and Cuphead.
Yeah.
That also referenced like the yellow gloves from
Yeah.
like that era of cartoons where there was just like an occasional golden or yellow glove, which is
What was the reasoning behind the golden glove?
for that I don't know.
No,
honestly.
it's just like a very
It's just an occasional thing that happened.
yeah. The Moldenhauer brothers, they really
They did their research.
they did their research to an absurd degree,
And they erased all of the racist ties, which is amazing.
yeah, I know. I mean, I still like what we were talking about when we were like,
Oh,
like a ROMAC of super racist Cuphead, where it's just like, dude, can you imagine fucking going to like the fight instead of the devil, you're just fighting like the Grant, like the fucking head of the Ku Klux Klan. I mean, like you're still fighting racism.
It's true.
That would be pretty badass.
It would be so great. Like, imagine that's what the delicious last course is going to be.
Oh god.
Like,
Yeah, I think that would hinder the marketability of the Netflix series a little bit. A little bit. You just see like kids watching it, and there's just like clan members coming around like torching people's houses. It's like, oh my god.
goodness. I mean, it makes you think, is that where like iterations of your stereotypical ghost had come from, or do you think that's a little like,
Ghost head?
yeah, just like like the Ghostbusters logo, for example, or
Oh.
Casper or something.
Well, I don't know. What was the reasoning behind like the Ku Klux Klan wearing like that kind of? I don't really know enough about like history to know why they were wearing like that particular garb.
Me neither. I think it was like a figure of like,
Because I feel like that image of a
religion.
ghost existed for a long time. You know.
yeah.
Like just like kind of like a sheet. Kids going on Halloween wearing the sheet.
Right, it's true.
Funny enough, so one year, you remember that year all the power went out during Halloween?
Yeah.
Well, we had no power throughout here, so like we were like no Halloween this
It
year.
got canceled.
Yeah, but like in Westville, down in New Haven, they were still doing Halloween because like obviously in the city, and so my dad, our buddy Todd lives down there, so me and Chris went to do Halloween, and my mom had this like witch hat, and I wore that down there, and then Chris just like we were walking down the street, and I was like under a tree in the shadow, and he goes, man, like. We're in New Haven, and you look very much like a Ku Klux Klan member with that witch hat on. It was a witch hat with a hat brim, like just a regular like a snapback.
Yeah.
With a combo witch hat, and on it said "last minute costume,"
Yeah.
and that's what I wore just because like I didn't have a costume.
Yeah.
And so it's like, man, you look incredibly like a KKK member in the
God.
in the shadows.
It's like that dream you had a few weeks ago.
Oh God, yeah.
When we went to go see Spider-Man, you were talking to us about that.
Yeah, wait, what did I say? I forget my dreams a lot.
You said there was a dude like right by the door in your bedroom as you
Oh!
woke up.
Oh yeah, I took a picture of that. That wasn't a
Yeah.
dream.
No,
That
it wasn't.
literally-
It was a thing
that
because
was-
it was like a thing hung up by your door that just kind of resembled that had the shape.
Yeah, well, my mom put the blanket because we washed one of our blankets, so she put it on my door to dry. So it's
Yeah.
hanging from the door, and it's the way the door is facing my bed. You can't even see the door. You just see this pointed, just like basically like the silhouette of a KKK member. And I, having just binged a bunch of One Piece the night before, was like, CP0!
CP0.
It was like the tall dude. I was like,
Cypher Paul!
yeah. I was like, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, dude.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Speaking of One Piece,
Oh, man.
what are you thinking of Wano right now?
I fucking love Wano.
Yeah.
We're only a couple episodes in, and I know that I'm only going through one pace, not through the original anime so far. I'm gonna have to at some point just because they're not completely finished wrapping up Wano, because Wano's not even finished.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for that, and I'm ready to enjoy it because just everything. I haven't had a single complaint about it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's fucking amazing, is it not?
the aesthetic is gorgeous. I in my opinion, it is peak One Piece like stylistically, like
100%.
the colors.
I agree.
Oh my god.
I agree. And I said it before that like I do miss like old one. You know what I really miss? I miss like Sky Island era of One Piece art.
I get that.
There's just something about it that feels like still 90s, but has a certain touch to it. I don't know. I just love the background art in those arcs, leading up to like Eni's lobby and everything. Oh man, but yeah, no, Wano. The aesthetic in Wano is incredible.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I mean, it's just I find it crazy. Like, there's stuff about Kiku you're about to learn.
Kiku is so
That like, There's stuff you're gonna be like, oh shit! Like,
Yo.
there's so much cool shit. Like, you just keep learning as that shit goes on. In this,
Yeah. I mean, already, Kiku's so fucking sick. She's
Yeah, no.
great design, great personality, great character, great representation.
Good representation.
Fucking amazing representation.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, she's already becoming one of my favorite characters in this arc, and I know I haven't come across many. I know there's a big one coming up.
Yeah.
But, like, for right now, Kiku's, like, A1.
I know, right? I know. I mean, how would you say your One Piece journey has been going from... and for everybody listening, we started... Jamal had watched One Piece in the 4Kids era, and then watched and then when Toonami came back, you were watching it on... Obviously, you watched 4Kids on Toonami and, like, Saturdays or so, whenever it was on.
Yeah, it had transitioned from Alabasta... Well, after Alabasta, it had transitioned from 4Kids to Funimation.
Yeah, it was right before Sky Island. It went to because they went from they switched over right when I think it was the Rainbow Mist arc.
Yeah,
the filler arc. But so like you had seen that and then watched it when Toonami came back up to Eni's lobby.
Yeah,
and then. This past summer in July, I think, right? August, I was just like, all right, you got to catch up.
Yeah.
I was like, because I really want to be able to talk about this with you. And so, like, we've been watching One Piece for 6 months at this point, on and off, like, a lot of nights. And, like, now we're finally, it's like, it really feels like a journey, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels like it's become like a 9 to 5.
Yeah,
you know?
It's just like, all right, it's part of the job.
Yeah, I was so reluctant just because I was like a few months ago, I was kind of like everyone else who's reluctant to watch One Piece, giving the same excuse of like, oh my god, it's so long, this and that, blah, 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 blah. Even though I do love One Piece, I was just like focused on a lot of other things.
Yeah, if you're not in the mix of it, you don't have that moment where you're like, oh, I'm going to keep watching this. You don't have that moment, then it's hard to really commit, because it is a fucking commitment.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like...
It's a long haul of a journey.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like... But, like, once you take that jump, it's like, okay, I'm just going to keep falling.
Right.
And you fall into a downward spiral of One Piece. You're just learning... Like... I know so much about One Piece that, like, every, 10 minutes I'm, pausing. I'm like, this guy was a character that the fans created.
Yeah.
Because I've literally read every SBS. I've read all the Weaver cards, which are, data books they put out, which are... They're cards. They're, trading cards. And each week they put out a trading card information about a character. And, that's where, information on Kiku came out. Because, that wasn't even established in the anime.
What about her,
being trans,
identity?
yeah. That's not, established ever in the anime. It's
really?
just in the Weaver card data book, the trading cards. And they compile the trading cards into books that they sell as well. It's very smart.
Yeah, it's genius marketing.
Yeah, but then there's also the SBSs, which are at the back of the volume. So whenever a new volume comes out, I'm like, fuck yeah, we get to learn more. And Oda's, goes fucking stupid with, the amount of just, there's a character in Wano that someone goes... This character kind of looks like the character that's being referenced. Is there any relation, Oda?
Yeah.
And the character they're talking about only shows up in one panel. And he's like, oh, that's her brother. And this is his name. And he gives a full fucking backstory.
Oh, God. It's either Oda just knows how to improvise perfectly, or that he's just a fucking madman about writing every character he creates.
I love to portal into his writing room and just see the Pepe Sylvia level
Pepe Sylvia
with the threads
crazy.
going between characters
and
because I don't know, I think he has a backstory fetish.
Yeah, at this point I wouldn't put it past him.
But I'm a sucker for good world building. That's why
absolutely. I dig what he does.
Yeah, because he's just the world building so crazy.
I know, it's the best world building I've ever seen in an anime before.
Yeah.
In a manga, I should add.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of what made me like the MCU was no, it's not Oda level.
Yeah.
But it's kind of reminiscent where you're seeing how things tie together. All of a sudden, Daredevil's here, and it's the little things too. It's
yeah, and it's not even. It doesn't even have to be directly in that Disney lineup of things because you have. Because now you have... I'm going to try not to... Well, just from the trailer and Far From Home, Doc Ock and Green Goblin are there and all that.
Yeah.
So you have ties from the Sam Raimi and Amazing Spider-Man universes, you have ties from the Netflix shows with the recurring actors from those shows coming back up. And it's like, it's wild. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even have to be, like, just Disney. Like, I feel like they could do the same thing with X-Men if they wanted to. Not that I don't know if they're going to. Like, that's the only thing, but...
Do you think a Star Wars character will ever show up in the MCU?
I mean, we already got actors from Star Wars showing up, but...
Yeah, but, like, I, like, fucking, like...
Oscar
like,
Isaac shows up.
Doctor Strange is like, oh no, in the new Doctor Strange movie, he's like, oh no, a being is coming from the portal, and then all of a sudden Chewbacca comes out, and everyone in the theaters is like,
it could totally happen. Like, I would imagine Oscar Isaac would just like, you just be Poe Dameron alongside every fucking Marvel character he's in. Of the three, he is. Because not only is he going to be Moon Knight, but he was also Apocalypse in X-Men Apocalypse, and he's also going to be Miguel O'Hara / Spider-Man 2099 in this upcoming Spider-Verse film, Across the Spider-Verse.
He's eating.
He's eating.
He's taking
like,
mad rolls.
He's like one-upping Josh Brolin on like the double roles.
Oh yeah.
It's wild.
Have you ever seen the you don't watch Parks and Rec, do you?
Not really.
There's an episode. I've actually never watched Parks and Rec, but there's an episode where they're like Patton Oswalt is trying to like do a filibuster where you have to just keep talking so they can't vote on something.
Yeah.
And he does, because they're like voting on something regarding like the park or whatever, like zoning things. And he goes, for my filibuster, as my citizens filibuster, I will talk about the upcoming Star Wars film. And he goes on a 9-minute tangent about just talking about, and it's completely improvised. At the end of they posted the full thing online on YouTube. At the end, all the actors are laughing like, how did you do that? and he's just like going off about like, he's like, Thanos will show up in Star Wars and like all this shit. And it made me think like, at some point they're gonna like get tired. They're gonna be throwing so much shit at the wall that I'm just gonna like look and they're gonna be like, Star Wars is right next to Marvel on Disney Plus. What if we bring them together?
And you know what, too? I think someone like Deadpool is the key factor, because just considering how much of a master he is at fourth wall breaking. Like, he mentioned that fucking Cable was Josh Brolin by mentioning that he was Thanos.
Yeah.
In Deadpool 2.
He kills himself. He kills Ryan Reynolds in the movie.
It's like, geez. Like,
while he's writing the Green Lantern script.
Deadpool is the key. He is like the...
Yeah.
What's a good example? Like, he's the chosen one here.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, have you noticed like everything's becoming multiverse?
Yeah,
like,
you know,
in my conscious, I was looking at like Rick and Morty, and I was like, oh, they did multiverse really well. But now it feels like so much shit hinges on multiverse stuff.
Oh yeah, when I saw what was it? Something from Grunkle Stan showed up through the portals in Rick and Morty, or was it the other way around?
Oh yeah, well, there's a lot of ties between Gravity Falls and Rick and Morty. Yeah, well, I mean, have you seen the episode where Stanford I can't remember comes through the portal? Where he comes through, his brother comes through the portal.
Or his brother, right?
Yeah. A bunch of stuff is like getting sucked into it.
Yes, that's
and it's like a question mark mug, a
yes.
pen, and like a notebook, I think. And
yeah.
then in the first season of Rick and Morty, he fucking like shoots a bunch of portals when he's running away from all the Ricks, and one of the portals, the stuff from Grunkle comes through that portal.
Yeah, that was wild when I first
saw that. There's so many more. Not only that, but there was a Gravity Falls like book, it was like a compendium kind of thing of like, it was just like of like their adventures through like the multiverse and one of the people in the book is totally Rick.
Oh really?
Yeah, like it shows a picture of like what looks like Rick.
Oh, that's great.
I think it's in silhouette though.
Uh-huh.
But like you're like, okay, that's Rick.
Yeah.
And then there's another thing. This was like not really having to do with like the two universes coming together, but like in the first season of Rick and Morty, there's this dude that has like rainbow suspenders and like a football shirt and like a crazy hat.
Oh my god, Uncle Grandpa?
No. He's just like this crazy looking dude in the background.
Okay.
And people were like, why is he so over designed for a background character? And apparently between the creator. I don't know if it was Adventure Time or I don't know if it was Pendleton Ward, but it was going to be Justin and then for Gravity Falls, Alex. They were going to put like that same character in all 3 shows, and then have
all 3 of them
numbers on the shirts. And then when you take them, it creates a message. If you take it from all 3 TV shows, but all the other 2 completely forgot to even put them in the show. They're just like, wait, you did that? Oh yeah, I totally forgot.
I forgot.
So he's just like because there's no message now because it's just one guy.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine when you get so caught up in the show, you just kind of forget subtle things like that. But
Justin didn't forget.
Yeah.
Justin was like, oh, come on, guys.
I mean, Justin Roiland's just a whole other breed of, like...
weirdo. I love Justin.
Yeah.
I say that in the most loving way.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know, I think weirdos are my favorite people in the world.
Yeah, I mean...
That's why I hang out with you.
Yeah, I am a fucking weirdo, that's for sure.
I mean, it's. I think it's better to be weird than to be not weird, and that sounds like something that would be in like a PG-13 tween book.
Yeah, from like the 2000s,
yeah.
early 2010s, like Tumblr era.
The Fault in Our Stars.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It'd be in like that. Being normal stinks.
Yeah, it's like how our friend Carson. I think it was Carson, anyways. He did art at this teen center we go to back in the day.
Carson did?
Yeah,
Oh.
I think it was him. He did an illustration of the Earth, and around it were words that said, "Earth without art is just just removing the art out of Earth."
Oh,
It's just that kind of thing.
Oh, I like that.
And that's something I always resonated with back in the day. Just I'm like, oh my god, that reassures me that like I'm not alone. That I come off as weird to a lot of people, just from middle school and high school, and just being around a group of people that were more like me, just nerdy and into the same stuff that I'm into, just made me feel a lot more at home.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to be, when you feel accepted, like, if you didn't feel accepted back then, like, that's a big thing,
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's hard to feel confident if, like, everybody's shitting on you,
Yeah.
And, like, I don't want to speak for, like, what your experience was, but,
Okay.
like, yeah, I mean, I definitely felt that to a degree when I was a kid, was that, like, people just kind of, you get dismissed a lot as, like, oh, you're just a weird guy, and, it's tough on your sense of self, so...
Yeah.
That's why I really liked college, is because you just find people that like you fuck with a lot.
Like college is like so much more diverse than high school and middle school.
Yeah, people that were like, man, high school was the best year of my life scare me.
Yeah,
I'm like, you're a psychopath.
Like
if you say high school is the best time of your life, half of the time I'm like, you're probably a bully.
I mean, there was a lot of funny hood shit I fucked with back in high school.
Hey, really? Wait, no, now I want to get into that. While I'm doing this podcast, I'm like always thinking like, okay, what's a topic? I'm trying to like think of like where to bring the conversation. I was about to go into like being sense of health, but no, now I know funny hood shit.
Let's just go on a little tangent here and just go back to that afterward. But
yeah.
I went to school in the New Haven area, Hill Regional Career.
Some may call it Pistol Wave in New Haven.
Pistol Wave.
Have you not heard that? You've never heard that?
No.
Well, it's accurate.
Pistol Wave. Jesus Christ. And it's around a pretty urban area. We have a lot of people with a lot of like, I don't want to say rough, but very different upbringings, and a lot of that kind of went to a community full of just like there were some class clowns that I used to be friends with that used to like just act wild in class. We had not only the culture of like World Star hip hop shit, but we had Vine going in like 2013. We had so many different things, so much different memes at the time that we just like abused to death just because we wanted to like really shine and just...
Got the what are those?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was more college, but
okay.
Like, like, I don't know if you remember the whole hold my dick thing.
Yeah.
that kind of shit. Like, people would be just like
Yelling that.
Yeah, we would be like debate. We would have pop quizzes about like just open pop quizzes in class about like biology or something, and then or like civics or geography or world history, and sometimes it'll get really heated because we just had different perspectives and just different answers on like what we studied.
My mind is going crazy how this relates to hold my dick.
Wait, hear me out. I'm getting to that. I just want to wait till. I can't swear right now, but we were just like, hello.
It's sleeting outside now. I don't think you should drive
Why?
because it's sleeting.
Yeah.
Yes, and how many drinks have you had?
Oh, I'm sober.
I'm just like one drink in.
Well, there's
Not
four.
that
There's 2
my
cans
sobriety
missing and the
matters.
box is empty. How many did you drink?
We had a couple.
Yeah, well, 1, 2, 3.
Well, I mean, if worse comes to worse, if it's too bad, I could just bring you back tomorrow morning. It's not like
Well,
you're out on vacation.
Go stand on the deck and see it.
Emma, we're kind of doing a podcast here.
That's better to do.
Okay, but I'm concerned. Go take a look at the deck and.
I can look out.
Oh, could we do an Eric Andre? We will be right back. The
deck is slushy.
Yeah.
A little bit.
No, yeah, it is.
All right. Well, I'll assess it before we leave, and
I think maybe I should just
I could
bunk in the other bed.
I could just bring. It's not like you have work, so it's like I could just bring you back tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's better than driving in really bad
Make
conditions.
Sure you let your parents know where you are.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We're good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna drive. It's unsafe.
More alcohol either.
Okay.
I don't know.
We live in the Northeast, so there's a lot of like sleet and snow this time of the year. It's just kind of the winter solstice era. So
Yeah. Well,
that's our context, viewers.
I thought it said it was going to turn to rain, but it's not doing that. It's slushy.
Okay. Emma, we're fine.
That's not to drive.
Yes,
Okay.
I love you.
Love you too, and that's why I'm giving you the heads up on
We're
it.
kind of doing something right here. Can we go back to doing what we were doing? Like
Eventually, yeah. Okay. So, what are you going to do?
I'm not gonna drive. Okay.
Okay.
Jesus.
We're taking my car in the morning, so.
You think that's safe?
Well, I'll see. That's going tomorrow.
Okay.
He doesn't care when I bring it.
Okay.
Or
Yes.
Yeah, that's with me.
Okay.
And don't forget to turn that off as well.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So I'm taking out this one. Someone's who's
I know.
drinking this one.
We're just pouring a little in our
Yeah, I'll
glasses.
take some actually.
Yeah, we're just pouring a little in our
No,
glasses.
this one's open.
Yeah, I know. We weren't.
Pouring some.
Yeah.
I'll utilize that.
Okay. Oh, there's a splash or something. I don't know. Okay. But don't drive.
Okay, I won't drive. Jesus.
Amazing. Can you leave that in?
Maybe.
Don't stress too late.
Thank you, Miss Maxwell.
My pleasure.
Well, that was the mom portion of this podcast.
Yeah, it's okay. I remember my train of thought. So we would debate. You guys probably remember where we left off. I mean, you can just rewind the podcast if anything, unless this just gets edited out. But
We'll figure it out.
in geography class and or biology or civics or whatever other class, we just have open debates and we just talk about like different viewpoints and different this and that, and things just got like not heated, but it got very talkative, and we were just like speak our mind. And as teenagers, that would involve like one speaking over another, just because we don't know how to properly communicate yet. And then some people just take this as the most opportune time to just be a class clown and just shout from their lungs on the rooftops, just like "Oh my dick" or something like that, just to be funny, and it would just throw off the whole class. And the teacher wouldn't even notice, and it was just the funniest thing. Some people would just record it too.
Well, like, okay, so like the whole you know, like you know the Key and Peele sketch of like the substitute teacher.
Yeah.
So like I'm sure that's quite true of like the inner city substitute teacher, but like where he's just like I'm not gonna take shit from this class. Like how accurate is that kind of like stereotype?
We had one very strict Latin teacher.
Yeah.
Who just didn't allow anything.
Yeah.
So a lot of us were all just very well behaved just because like he really put his foot down. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it was a mix. It was a case by case in which some people just didn't care just because of how nice they were or how laid back. But there were some other people who were either A, they were very restricted and just didn't take any bullshit from anybody. They didn't stand down. B, just unsure of how to handle the class, and that resulted in yelling and just having a meltdown. Even some people some teachers just broke down crying.
Oh,
much to my surprise. And
yeah,
I'm like,
my class, I've only seen it once. One of my classes, our teacher was pregnant, and then, well, no, not this teacher, but our teacher was pregnant, so she left halfway through the year, and we had like a permanent substitute come in because like she's pregnant, she had her child,
she can't do it.
and so like at the end of the year, we had this woman for like 2 months, and the people in my class were such shitheads that they made her cry.
Oh no.
And like she left the room crying, and I was like, yeah, I felt bad.
Yeah, for me it was Phi Chem. My freshman year, we were all just so fucking obnoxious. And this teacher already had a thing for yelling like on day 2. And it just got to the point where she just didn't know how to handle it. She was just like ranting to us about us as she was breaking down crying on the desk. I felt awful. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't part of this. I was just sitting around. Like that's the thing. I'm like the average Joe of the classes most of the time. Like how Kendrick Lamar just like addressed.
Yeah, you're like I'm just kind of there.
Yeah. But I'm just there witnessing it. I'm like, oh my god, I feel awful.
Yeah, no, it's rough when you see a teacher cry because, like, especially because you grow up like seeing teachers and you're like, they're just kind of like this post of like, you know, of what an adult is.
Yeah.
So when you see them crying and like in that context, there's just something really weird about it.
Yeah, you get the realization in your head that like, oh, they can be vulnerable.
Yeah, and like you're like, oh, they're
perfect.
people.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, oh god, yeah, no. I've only seen one teacher cry.
Yeah, that just same here for me.
Yeah.
Like that was wild.
Yeah.
And you know, I saw her sometimes at like when she comes in as a customer to work sometimes, and I'm like, oh my god, hi, it's been so long. Even though she doesn't remember me, considering how long it's been, it's just like nice to say like, hey, it's nice to see you again, just to get it out. But yeah, a lot of the shit that happened in my high school, there were a lot of fights. A lot of fights. And I know that's common in a lot of schools, especially in Connecticut, especially in the New Haven area.
Yeah.
But
I got punched in the face once.
Oh really?
Not hard.
Oh okay.
I kind of had it coming.
Oh.
Well, there's a guy on my bus who he was older than me, and I was like kind of friends with him, and I was just joking around, and I like being kind of a dick to him, and I pulled his headphone out of his ear, just like ha ha.
Oh yeah, that's just asking for it at that.
But like we're friends, so it was like I'm just like joking around with him. But I wasn't that good of friends with him, and I guess he was having a bad day, and he just fucking punched me in the face. But like it was more like a jab, and like I just looked there and was like, "Oh, I didn't mean it that way, dude." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." It was weird though. Like the look on his face looked like an angry wiggler.
Yeah.
And like I just had a fist coming at me. I was like,
I think
he sold me weed later in my life.
Yeah. So I think I had one friend who on 2 separate occurrences like hit me.
Yeah.
And I guess I had that shit coming too.
Like in the face or
no. There was some petty drama between him and some other people that I also knew, and I was just being I feel like I need to be a part of everything and diffuse the situation. Just went up to him and just being like, hey, whatever. I don't remember the context of this at all. But afterward, he did a fake out, like he was gonna give me dap, and then he ended up just like doing like the freeze that just punched me in the stomach.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't that hard, but I was like, oh, fuck me.
Oh, so was he? Oh, so he was trying to punch you though.
Yeah. He
Okay,
just,
sorry,
like,
I misread what you meant.
He like kind of lured me in.
Yeah, he was like going like that, and he went.
He wanted to get close, and
okay,
just, like, boom.
Yeah. Okay.
And then one other time, it was a different situation entirely. Another one of my friends got confrontational with him, and just me being an obnoxious dude, I just thought it would be funny to just like cheer him up in the dumbest way possible, just being like, "Hey, I let me grab your hood and put it over your face," and I'm like, "Wait, no." And in hindsight, I'm like, "Oh my god, this is."
You got punched.
Before he realized it was me, he just started like, like
hitting you with the E-Honda.
Yeah. I'm like, no, it's me. I'm not trying to insult you. I know. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I was stupid back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were the only 2 times I can recall ever like getting into anything kind of like physical.
I've never really gotten. I'm such a laid back guy. I've never really gotten, and that's why like the whole like that one situation I just listed off surprised me because in my head I was like, this is my friend. I'm just fucking with him.
Yeah.
But he was apparently having a really bad day, and like so like didn't end up coming off like I'm just fucking around with you, being like a dickish. People are dicks in high school.
It broke his camel's back for sure.
Yeah, there's this one kid who thought he was friends with everybody, and he thought he was my friend, and I remember I was taking a piss one time, and he walks into the bathroom behind me, and he pushes me into the urinal while I'm peeing, and then he's just like, "How you doing, man? Ha ha ha!" And I was like, now I got like piss on me, like,
Oh, no.
but like. Even if my closest friend did that, I would be a little mad because I'm like, why? Now I gotta walk to class like that.
Yeah, that's.
But he wasn't even trying to bully me. That's the thing. Is like some dudes in high school, you're so immature, you're so dumb that like you got that jackass mindset.
Exactly. I was gonna bring up.
But I'm like, bro, I'm not friends with you.
Yeah.
Like it's not funny.
It's just like we're not that close for you to be doing that.
Yeah, it was like, dude, what the hell? Oh man, high school just has like a litany of topics you go through.
It's an era of just acting wild and making mistakes.
Well, because you think you're an adult, but you're a kid.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
that's the thing. Is like it's like you're in that phase of like being.
Like once you hit 13, you just think that like the world is yours.
You get how the world works.
Yeah.
Like I know how shit works. Man, like when I started smoking weed, I was like, I get how everything works.
Yeah.
And then I went to college and I was like, I'm stupid. It's like I don't know anything. And like I still feel that way. And but like yeah, so it's just funny that like when you're like at that especially the ages of like 15 to 18, those are the prime years of being like, I'm an adult now, I can drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Like not legally, but like I'm down to do that, and like you're fucking, and you don't realize like how irresponsible and how dumb you are.
I drank. I did it once in the cafeteria, not even realizing it was alcohol. This was from the same friend too. Ironically enough,
Yeah.
he said he had pina colada in his Gatorade bottle or Powerade. I don't remember which, but not that it matters. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, like the Fanta flavor. Can I have a sip? And then he's like, yeah. And I'm like,
The taste of
oh wait, this is alcohol. And I'm like, oh, I'm backing out. I'm sorry. And I'm not getting expelled for nothing.
That is the most high school thing I've ever heard. Is I got pina colada in my Gatorade bottle.
Oh yeah, that's like something you'd see out of like one of those MTV shows, like Awkward or something.
Dude, I mean, we're talking about being dumb and young. I remember going to this Estonian event where it was in like a hotel, just like one of those ballrooms, and then like it was just like the Independence Day event Estonians celebrate every year, and I wanted to drink at it, but I was like probably like 18, and I was in high school, so I was like 17 or 16. And I was like, I want to drink though. I want to have fun while I'm dancing and whatnot. And so I brought over like I had a Gatorade bottle that I had like a little bit of Gatorade in, and then I poured vodka into the Gatorade. So it still had that blue Gatorade look, but it had vodka in it. And I kept drinking it, and then I had another drink like next to me, like I think I got a Shirley Temple. And so I'm like drinking that, but it tastes like almost exactly like vodka. And then I'm chasing it with Shirley Temple. And I'm like, thinking I'm slick. No one ever said anything, but like looking back, I'm like, that's the most suspect looking thing. Like you're drinking Gatorade and then drinking another drink back and forth. Like as an adult, I'm like, how dumb was I?
Yeah, the only time I ever do that non-alcoholic, like context is usually at work, and this is not to go on another tangent because I do not want to talk about work. But
Yeah, no, you're good, dude.
fuck work. Oh my god. It's good that nobody knows where I work.
Yeah.
But I sometimes, just to get myself up and rising at the start of my shift, I have a Red Bull.
Mm.
But because I have this feeling of like dehydration mixed with hunger afterward, I always have to have a bottle of water on me just to balance it out. Other than that, like, there's no other scenario I can imagine where you're just not doing that with alcohol.
Oh, like chasing something?
Just chasing it down.
Well, I mean, yeah. Typically, people don't need to chase anything. That's not really chasing, though. You're just drinking the water later on. You're not, like, drinking Red Bull and then drinking water?
Well, I do sometimes. But
Really? Wait, why? 'Cause the taste?
sometimes I think it helps. Sometimes I think it doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just do it so subconsciously, and I'm just, like, not realizing it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe it'll like balance it out afterward, but
Yeah.
then hunger gets in the way, and I'm like, oh, so this was pointless after all.
Yeah, I mean, ever since I've been a kid, I've always been, like, very just, like, into drinking liquids. I don't know why. Like, as a kid, I'd be, like, chugging drinks, but I didn't eat much as a kid. Like, I was, like, very picky and, like, whatnot. And then, like, yeah, now it's, like, that just translates to me drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
Like, I just take back shit like it's nothing. And,
Right.
Yeah, it's just funny. But, like, fucking... Yeah, I don't know. How do we even get here? We're talking about high school.
High school, yeah. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to go on another tangent, and we're not going to know where we came from.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nature of doing a podcast, is it not?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Joe Rogan does this all the time.
Constantly. I mean, the man is baked as fuck.
Yeah.
And speaking of being baked as fuck, something I did a lot in high school, but never went to school high. Never drank at school, never brought alcohol to school, I just didn't. I was like, in school... I hate everyone around me, and I don't want to fucking be doing fun stuff while I'm around half those people.
Yeah, it's not a good vibe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just not a fun vibe. Like,
No,
I don't want to be high around half these fucks.
Yeah, because if you don't have anybody to like really resonate with as you're doing it, it's like, why even bother?
Well, that's the thing is, none of my friends, like, I had a decent amount of friends in high school, but none of them were in classes with me.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of my friends, like, we had, like, different, like, so there's, like there was like a level, there was like 3, 2, and 1, like the levels of like how fast the pace of your classes go. And like 1 is like where like the kids are really like those are where the smart kids are. And then like I was in all 2s except for Spanish, which was a 3 because I fucking never took Spanish up until middle school.
Yeah.
And so, but like, yeah, so like all my friends were in 1s. And so I didn't have any friends that were in my classes. It also, half my friends were in, like, other grades.
Yeah.
Beyond that. So, like, I wouldn't even see my friends in high school. Like, I had acquaintances, but, like, in school, I never saw the people I was, like, close with.
Yeah. Most of my friends in high school were people that I made friends that I made along the way through each class. I did have a subset of friends from middle school that we went to the same school, but most of the time, we never had the same classes.
Yeah.
It was always, like, we were always just, like, separated. And that's... I ended up having to just, like, make new friends and... excuse me. Hiccups. And,
Do you have the hiccups?
yeah, a little bit. I usually get them. But, yeah, and it definitely wasn't easy at first. Just because of how shy I was back then. I didn't really start coming out of my shell about a lot of, like, socially at all until about junior year or senior year.
Of
high school. Yeah.
Same.
Unless it was around a group of friends that I was already close with. But otherwise,
I became more open and less shy around college.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm still really coming out of my shell about a lot of things. But yeah, initially it just wasn't like I was just really shy into myself with my little sketchbook, just like drawing some anime that I was doing.
Yeah.
I was a huge weeb in high school.
Well, really? Well, tell me about that. I had no idea.
Oh, sure.
Dude, I remember the first day I met you in English class at Southern. I sat next to you and you were like, "Yo, look, I draw." And then you showed me, you had your sketchbook and you had like drawings of the Ninja Turtles.
That to college.
You were drawing in class.
Yeah.
And you had like the Ninja Turtles drawn there and like anime characters and stuff. And I was like, whoa. Because like, it's funny because like I was super into that throughout my entire life other than high school. High school is where I didn't, because like the people I hung out with, like we just didn't, like that's where I got into like drinking and smoking weed and like just like hanging out and listening. That's where I really got into music.
Yeah.
My big passion was rap music in high school instead of like anime and like TV shows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so like when I got into college, like a big part of why I like got back into anime is because I started hanging out with you. Well, because dude, you were like, have you ever seen One Piece? And I'm like, dude, I love One Piece. I used to watch it when I was way younger, like early high school. I watched it obviously for kids and then early high school.
God, this is a world build in itself.
Yeah. And then that day after we were walking back from class, the first day of class, we were you were telling me about your what was that game, the Acorn Swordsman or whatever.
Oh god, yeah, I had an early video game concept called Acorn Knight.
Acorn Knight, yes.
Yeah,
and like he would hold up signs, right, or something like that.
Signs.
But didn't he talk with signs?
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
like the little squirrel guy would hold up signs to talk.
I didn't even remember that.
I listened. I listened. This was 2014 for everyone. So this is 8 years ago.
Yeah, my silent hero.
Yeah, I remember talking to you about that in the student center when we went to get food. And but that day I went back to my dorm with Parshawn there, and I just put on my laptop. I went on YouTube and I wrote One Piece in, and One Piece came up, and they had back then copyright laws on YouTube.
They were not a thing.
Not that bad in 2014. So people would just post like episode 1 through 5 of One Piece.
Yeah.
So I just started watching One Piece on YouTube. That ended and I found Watch OP.
Yeah.
I was watching One Piece through Watch OP for a long time. But that day I hung out with you, I started watching One Piece again because I didn't know anybody at Southern.
Yeah.
Bro, you talk to Parshawn, the man is he's a ghost. You try hanging out with him, he's out in fucking neurodivergent land.
I swear to God, I feel like Oda wrote our freshman year.
Right.
Just because, like, I met Parshawn first before I met you.
Yeah.
And even then, we didn't directly communicate, but we were in the same class. He was like a seat above me.
Yeah, it's so weird how that works.
Yeah. And he was rocking his, like, Harry Potter scarf.
Harry Potter scarf, yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah. It's just like, yeah. And then I just started, and I watched One Piece from, when did classes start? Like late August?
Yeah, like the end of August.
I finished halfway through October.
Oh, wow.
So I caught up to Dressrosa, where they get off the ship and they're walking in, like where they see the ferries.
Yeah.
That's where I caught up to in a month and a half.
Wow.
That's like, what, 600 episodes? Mm-hmm. Not One Piece.
Nope.
With filler arcs.
Was One Piece a thing back then?
No. I think it started 2015.
Got it. Okay.
So it was almost a thing.
Oh, yeah,
but like, I didn't even hear about One Piece till recently.
Yeah, because their initial reason was because of how long Dressrosa was, right? They wanted to, like...
Dressrosa was so padded out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, I just started watching that. Then I was like, I wanted to watch more anime, so I started watching Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Yu-Gi-Oh! GX?
Yeah, dude, I watched all the way through, and I saw the episodes where they just stopped dubbing it for 4Kids.
Yeah.
They stopped dubbing Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and then so I watched the Japanese subtitled version.
Yeah.
And, like, they were just like, it was like, Manjo me Thunder! And, like, it was Judai instead of Jaden. Yeah.
Yeah. It was Japanese name's Judai?
Judai, yeah.
Got
Which is
it.
pretty badass.
Oh, it's dope.
Judai.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Manjome instead of Chaz. Chaz fits, because he's a dick. Chaz Princeton.
Dude, like, the first time I heard Satoshi
instead
of Ash, I was like, wait, what? Who's Satoshi? Who is Kasumi? Who's Takeshi? I know Ash, Misty, and Brock.
It's
thank
funny
you.
that Ash's name is Satoshi, and like
It's the creator of the series, Satoshi Tajiri.
oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I was just gonna say because I associate like it's like the name like Barbara. I think of like an older woman.
Yeah.
It's like I think of Satoshi as like an older Japanese man. I can't think of like I don't know. I think of like Satoshi Kon, rest in peace.
Yeah,
Or like
rest
I
in
think of
peace.
like older Japanese men. So when I hear Satoshi with like young Ash, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if that fits. Just
Yeah.
because I associate it with old Japanese dudes.
Yeah, I mean, not to go on another topic, but you have a lot of those anime where the main character, or not even anime, just shows in general where main characters are just like named after the creators themselves. Because if you think about Adventure Time, and I know you haven't seen much of Adventure Time yet, the original. Oh my god, my hands are moist.
Yeah, no, I can see the sweat on the table.
Yeah. Yo, Critical, you want to supply me with one of those moist T-shirts? You know,
Yeah.
or get sponsored by you guys.
Yeah. What were you saying?
Pendleton. Finn's original name was Penn, named after Pendleton Ward, but that was in the pilot, which was in the OER cartoons.
Yeah, on Nickelodeon.
On Nickelodeon.
Wow. Yeah.
Big fucking L on Nickelodeon's
Yeah, they
part.
dropped the ball.
Yeah.
They dropped the ball.
Fanboy and Chum Chum. Wow.
Fanboy and Chum Chum over Adventure Time.
Oh god.
Yeah.
That dude, y'all sabotaged yourselves. I'm sorry.
I feel like Nickelodeon, as great as they are, like you got SpongeBob and shit. Like a lot of the time they fuck themselves up.
Yeah. Like you have SpongeBob currently now. It's getting a little bit better. And
What is on Nickelodeon now?
right now you have SpongeBob, you have the Loud House and its spin-off, the Casa Grandes.
Oh yeah, Chocolates.
Yeah, the Shankla. Both shows of which are fucking amazing. The Loud House is fantastic. It's a great slice of life that doesn't take itself too seriously. It's just one boy and his 10 sisters and just the experiences they have growing up in a house.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have thought the amount of creativity in episodes going into that.
Well, it's not the premise
It's
that
great.
matters. It's just how you expand on a premise.
Yeah, it's
'Cause, like-
wonderfully executed.
Yeah, exactly. But back to what we were talking about before,
Yep.
because I thought we were getting into something really interesting. Was
Yeah.
the Oda writing our backstory was that like it's so fucking funny that you met Parshan before,
Yeah.
and then years later. Fucking like I brought Parshan into the Discord, and we were
Right.
because of COVID, we created the Discord and then just started talking all the fucking time.
Yeah, and that's how we bonded a lot more.
Yeah. Well, like I always had fun. Yeah, and even because I know you're talking about Parshan in that
Yeah.
context, but like even like we were seeing each other like once a week and talking like about
every
random
Friday.
weeb shit over fucking what's it, Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
Dude,
was an era.
I miss the era of like I'd get drunk on a Friday night
Oh,
and like I'd be
God.
hanging out with people and then they'd leave and then I'd be like,
You
I want to
just-
talk. So I'd call you up and you're like, I can't talk.
You either call me or
And
just
leave
send
you like
drunk
voicemails
messages.
about like Digimon for
Yeah.
life and shit like
And
that.
I'm like, fucking yuck, come on.
Yeah, I'd be like, pick up, fuck you, bitch.
A lot of the time I'm trying to go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like but that was an era in itself. But like just like it's funny because like because we talked about like One Piece, and I remember you talking about Casher Sins and
Oh my god, Cash and Sin.
you were talking about Dead Man Wonderland as well to me.
Because those were the two anime that were like
Big
the
on
starters when Toonami had returned.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was just the way I watched my anime outside of just looking it up online was on Toonami. I didn't really care for like the debate between dubbed and subbed at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, those were like the ones. But I had seen.
I mean,
Cash
we
and
all
Sin
came up on
before.
Toonami.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It's just like when I wanted to get back into One Piece. I remember seeing a YouTube comment. Someone's like, "You gotta watch the sub because like they're farther ahead from the dub," and that was my reason for watching the sub.
Because it was
Just because it's farther, because especially at the time, the dub only got to like that GA arc. It got to the GA arc of One Piece, that filler arc that I told you is awesome.
Yeah.
After Sky Island, but in the subbed anime of like the normal shit, It was at, I believe they were at Saboti.
Oh, damn.
So we're at basically Sky Island and Saboti.
Yeah.
So I was like, what do I watch? The one that's way farther ahead. I didn't even watch because of the whole like voice acting and sub thing.
Yeah.
I just watched because I knew there was more content.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, the voices are better. And then I kind of came to my own conclusion on that.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But I mean, you basically you awakened my weeb again back in the days because you started talking about all the Ninja Turtles and Casher and Sins and everything. And then I went back to One Piece that day and yeah, I mean, one spiral later, we're here doing a podcast talking about shit.
I know, like 8 years later. 7.
Yeah. I remember, I got real emotional one day. I was like, because I remember at the end of college, I was like, man, am I going to see people after college? I was so like,
I remember that.
I mean, I don't know about you, but like at the end of college, I was so nervous because I was like, what am I going to see? Like, because obviously, you know, college connects all of us together. And I was like so nervous about that. And then I remember hitting you up. I was like, we got to keep hanging out after college ends and whatnot. And then, yeah, it's so funny. We're doing a fucking podcast.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's not changing.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, you know, it's just like
No, I get it.
nervousness of like, well, you know, what's it going to be like when like we're not on the same campus, seeing
yeah.
each other at the student center and shit.
Yeah, totally. Because the same thing you're talking about now is what happened with me and a lot of friends.
Yeah.
You know, you have a lot of close people in college, but at the same time, college is like fast friends.
Yeah.
You meet literally like hundreds of people throughout each year, and it's just hard keeping track of all of them.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I just hit up one of my friends last night.
Yeah.
And I hadn't spoken to her since our economics class, like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And because her name just popped up on Facebook, and I'm just like, oh my god, just the amount of people that I just, you know, because we all have so many different things going on in our lives, we're just moving up or down, depending on our situation, but we all have our different stories and stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, you just kind of like forget, and you kind of like, you just separate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in that same pool room that I just hadn't spoken to in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a lot of people, I'm thinking about right now, people I met freshman year at college. Mm-hmm. And like, people that I met freshman year that I still talk to are like you and Parshawn. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think anybody else. And I don't think there's anybody else from freshman year that I still talk to. You know?
Yeah, there's only a few people. I shouldn't mention. Should I mention her name? Is it
Anastasia? That's fine.
Anastasia.
That's fine.
My good
I'm not
friend.
giving a last name.
My good, lovely, amazing friend Anastasia. If you ever find this upon SoundCloud or whichever other platforms we're going to be posting this on, what's up? I hope all is well.
Yeah.
I didn't see her and a lot of my other friends from either freshman year or senior year until like that wedding a few years ago or months ago.
Yeah, I met Anastasia at like my 4th year of college.
Yeah,
I didn't meet her until way later, and then I remember I learned you knew her, and I was like,
yeah.
whoa.
I've known her for a long time.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I'm trying to think. I remember there was this guy I had I&Q with that I hung out with here at my house like twice, and I hung out with at my dorm a little bit, and he was a cool dude. And then I hadn't talked to him for the longest time, and then randomly last year he hit me up and he was like, how are you doing? Blah, blah. He just texted me. I was like, oh, good. And then he told me he was like getting into investments. And I was like, okay, cool.
Right.
And then just the conversation didn't go any farther than that.
Oh, there you go.
But like, I was like, it was kind of weird. He just like hit me up to talk about like, yeah, I'm making all this money off investments. I'm like, word? Like, okay.
Yeah, like there's so many, like, yeah, you have your friends that just have the biggest come up ever that you just stumble upon, and then you're just like, oh. Because I remember one of my friends from high school who also went to college with me. I might be incorrect about this, but I think she's a makeup artist, a fashion designer, something of that sort in California, and she mentioned something about Kylie Jenner. And I'm like, you're like my first friend from high school. We were all just sitting on a desk, just chatting
Yeah.
And here we are now.
Yeah. It's crazy to see like people coming up like that, and like, you know, it really motivates me to be like, no, you gotta fucking do this, you gotta work.
Yeah.
And like, man, like that's why I like this Discord we have, because like we all are working on shit together, and like, man, I feel like we got the Rick Rubin, Russell Simmons kind of come up where like, you know, right now I'm like, oh, I want to work with you on shit and like do whatever. You know, like, I want, especially the ROM hack. I want to work on a ROM hack.
Yo, I'm so down to do it.
Because it's the most accessible, because, like, you don't have to know coding like that.
Yeah.
But you can still make something fucking awesome with it, you know?
Yeah, you know, level design, I do sprites and pixel art.
Yeah.
And if we can find somebody that knows how to compose, or if either of us learn how to do that, we can totally come up with a great product. Maybe Barb will mention us.
Yeah, well, there's like people that like you can just find online,
Just
like making connection.
with.
Yeah, network over Twitter in the community, and you can find people. Like, I mean, it's a little right now. It's a long shot, but like Composer is a really fucking good. His name's Composer.
Yeah,
Like,
Composer. Yeah.
He. Oh man, I gotta show you some of his music levels. He made really
I've
cool.
heard some.
Well, not just ROM hacks. In Mario Maker, he made all these levels where, so like the note blocks, the certain height you place a note block in Mario Maker, it makes a different pitch. And then any item, like a Koopa or a Goomba, makes a different sound. Like a Hammer Bro makes a guitar sound when it lands on.
Oh shit.
So you can place note blocks on any like tile at height to change the pitch and then the sound of what drops on it. And you can create really insane music levels and then make the platforming to that music in Mario Maker.
That's awesome.
That's where Composer came up, at least from what I saw, was he was making these levels, these intricate as fuck levels in Mario Maker. And then he worked on Grand Poo World. He makes music that's on like SMW Central. And so like, I mean, like that's why I want to make like a quickie world kind of thing, just to try to like, you know, dip my toe in, because that's easier. And then like a network of people who could probably do music. I want to make something fucking awesome.
Oh yeah,
you know?
And I do have a few composers following me.
That dude that took your GIF. That guy was cool.
Fucking shout out to M0BTALK.
Is that the guy?
Yeah, he does some really sick chiptune music. You guys should check him out.
Yeah, what's it? Spell his name?
Yeah, it's Mega, like MEGA, and then BAZ.
BAZ.
M0BTALK. I think is
Look up his Green Hill Zone. You'll see some nice sprite work on that.
Yeah,
some nice,
I did
GIF.
For the Sonic the Hedgehog 30th anniversary that had happened in June, I created one of those lo-fi study beats GIFs, but in my own style and pixel art, and it's just Sonic, who, while incorrectly wearing his headphones, is just bopping to the music while reading a book, and Tails is out the window. That's the video that he that's the GIF that he used, and he has just this amazing rendition of Green Hill Zone. It's a very laid back, like,
it's fucking awesome.
It's sick. When I first discovered that, I was like, "Yo,
yeah,
this dude's dope." And I do plan to. I really want to work with him with something else at this point, and I think he would make a great addition to like whatever we're trying to do, like whether it be a ROM hack or anything like that. And
100%. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
This is why Twitter is important, and like networking with people on the internet, because you can make some crazy shit. And I'm gonna speak a little cocky right here, but I think we're going to make fucking something awesome.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do something.
Yeah, we just got to put our nose to the grindstone, you know. You know what would be the dream? Getting Toby Fox.
Oh, the composer music. Yo, I'm sick.
Bro, I was listening to, what's the song? Rude
Buster.
Buster. Almost got into a car accident today.
Oh man, did you?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me about that.
Yeah, I saved it for the podcast.
Okay, excellent.
I literally
Foreshadowing.
almost got into a fucking car accident today. I was pulling off. I was driving behind this big truck kind of thing, carrying a bunch of like equipment.
Yeah.
And I was like driving. I'm like, oh, I gotta put the song on. I gotta put Rude Buster on. And so I played it, and I started driving. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling myself. And I get to the stop sign, and the truck takes a right, and I look up the hill, and I see the truck going, nobody there. So I just pull out left, and then all of a sudden, literally car right in front of me. Like, we're just right next to each other. We're about to fucking hit each other.
It hit you with like the Deltarune.
Well, I was like, holy shit, and I braked, and they just kept going forward. And then the guy slows down, flips me the bird.
Oh my god.
He was driving a Porsche, He's a dude from Woodbridge. Definitely.
man.
I mean, that would have been a
Sounds
bad.
about right.
It would have been a real bad accident. It would have been my fault. But like, it was completely behind the truck. I couldn't see him. I looked for like a solid second.
spot.
Didn't even see the guy, and I was bumping Root Buster. I almost got into a fucking
God, you're battling the car. That's why Root Buster was playing.
I know. I dodged it. I dodged the cars.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining a car just going around that little square.
Yeah. you were the heart. Just like,
Yeah, the heart. I dude, it literally that's what it was like.
shout out to Toby Fox.
Yeah, no, rough times. And then I was like, oh man, I was gonna say it when I got in the car and I started playing it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna save this for the.
It's better that if you save it, yeah. Just because you would also like get the best reaction. I mean, considering I hadn't heard about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Shit was bad. Almost.
Oof. But thank God we're all here. You know?
Yeah, I know, right?
There have been so many close calls with both of us. I feel.
You think so? How so?
Just a lot of death defying. You know, remember that time your like brakes weren't working?
Oh yeah, my brakes gave out in New Haven, Canada. Pistol wave in New Haven, my brakes were giving out.
Yeah.
Just like that was the scariest shit because I thought that I hit the gas because my car did not slow down when I hit my brakes.
Yeah.
So like if you're not slowing down, you hit the brakes. My immediate thought was like, I'm speeding up because like you're not slowing down. What's happening? And I freaked out. And I remember you were in the back seat, and you go.
I was like,
you're like
shaking.
Well,
like,
you looked at me and
you
go,
good, dude?
Well, yeah, because I was like scared as fuck. I was like, what just happened? And you were like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Because I still in that moment was like, I hit the gas by accident. And then I kept hitting the brake and it wasn't slowing down. And finally, when I pressed it to the fucking ground, I got a little bit. And then my car was making that smell.
Yeah.
That was bad. That's why we got rid of that car, dude.
And all the while this was happening, just in my mind, I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck, what's happening? You know, just like...
Yeah, it's scary driving around when your brakes don't work.
Oh, yeah.
My brother-in-law, his brakes gave out on the highway. And then, but that's almost better because then you can just pull over but like to me, I can't pull over when there's cars everywhere in New Haven.
Yeah.
The highway, at least you can pull onto the grass all the way to the side, like where he was. So like he almost had it better. Mm-hmm. Still scary on the highway to have your brakes kind of give the fuck out.
Oh yeah.
But
that's,
yeah.
Like it's shit like that makes me like really anxious about driving. And I know I gotta get going. I'm gonna get my car in a few months.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's about that time. I got my license. I got the money. I could just
fuck
put a
yeah,
fucking
bro.
down payment on it. Yeah, it's just one of the things I fear. Not only that, but I also like lost a friend in a car accident like years ago.
Oh jeez, I'm sorry to hear that.
And it's all good. Even though this is like a very rare occurrence where just somebody has a heart attack on the wheel and just like into another person's car.
Jeez, that's what happened?
Yeah, it was like it was like some Final Destination shit. Not to make light out of it, but it's just like an example of like the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, no, that's fucking scary. What a fucking way to go out. Like,
and like we were worried for like weeks on end, and then we got the day he passed. We just got the news, and it was like shit.
Yeah, no, I mean that's definitely a fear with driving. Is that like, what if there's a drunk driver? Man, my fucking.
Oh, my great grandmother did. She got killed by a drunk driver.
Oh Jesus!
In Jamaica,
Christ.
yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, like my buddy Bobby was walking on the side of the road.
Yeah.
He got hit by a drunk driver who was on the wrong side of the road. Mm-hmm. They were in the wrong lane, going opposite to traffic. But it was a back road. But they're drunk.
Yeah,
and
that's fucking rough.
And then, I mean, I know two people I went to high school with that have been on drugs or alcohol and one of them killed a cop.
Ooh.
And then another person was on like a lot of drugs. It might have been heroin and fucking hit a dad. And both of those people died. And both of them have gone to prison.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
And like shit like that scares me, man. Is like just the chaoticness of shit. Like, you know, like when I'm in like the movie theater too, sometimes my mind thinks like we're in this big IMAX theater, we're at the mall, like what if there's a shooting
How
at the
many
mall?
jokers are there going to be?
Yeah, it's like the chaoticness of the world currently is so fucking scary because like
Oh yeah.
just in so many aspects, you know?
Like I'm worried about getting robbed at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that happened at your job.
Yeah, someone had a gun and
Yeah.
just. Granted, he didn't. I don't think he pointed it at anybody. He just
Showed it
walked away with a fucking cart full of expensive tools like that, because that's what the thieves always go for, like Ryobi DeWalt, Milwaukee.
Yeah, well, because you can carry it and it's expensive.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to be hauling wood
Yeah.
to try. Like I'm robbing your wood.
And like at a time where I was already feeling really awful about a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Not to go into detail about that, but
Yeah,
a
we probably-
dude just like walked, and this wasn't even me. I was outside thankfully at the time, but he was on the other side of the building, walking away, and one of the cashiers were like, "Are you all set, sir? Are you ready? Have you checked out?" And then he literally just like walked away, like, "Yep," just pulling his shirt up with a gun strapped.
God damn.
I think that's what happened. That's what everybody has told me.
Yeah, it was just like, yeah. Do you want to try to ring me out, bitch? Like
Yeah, like oof. That shit was scary.
yeah. Luckily, he didn't point it at anybody. Because that's even worse. Like, man, because at least in that moment you're like, oh, what the fuck? But he's not like coming at you or anything.
Yeah, he's not like flat out directly threatening.
Yeah, if you have a gun pointed at you, that's different than being flashed it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely weird.
It's-
Like because you're gonna be. I'd be taken back. I'd be like, what the fuck?
And that's not even the only one. Another one, there was a knife,
You had a
and
knife.
I think that person was held at knife point.
Yeah. Were either of these people like caught?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like I never get like the sit rep afterward because it's
Yeah.
always a bunch of different stories, and it's hard to follow every single one considering like how different each one of them are in at least one aspect.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know someone who was delivering pizzas in New Haven and got called for like a stack of pizzas, and then they just held them at gunpoint and just like, yeah, give us all the money in the car, give us the pizzas, and like held them at gunpoint.
Oof.
Yeah, that's like, you know, delivering pizzas in New Haven. I wouldn't want to fucking do that job. Because like you never know. I'm sure there's so many people in New Haven that have gotten robbed like that.
I mean, the Pizza Heaven in New Haven just got robbed like a month or two ago.
Really?
Yeah, I was over at a friend's house and I heard that, and this was just like a...
More Than Pizza got robbed too.
Oh, no. I'm thinking of More Than Pizza, not Pizza
Dude, did
Heaven.
you see that video?
Yes, I did. I think.
Yeah.
That shit was rough.
Yeah, no, I saw that video. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I would go there all the time.
Yeah, we used to get the...
We get the chicken bacon ranch
I
and
remember
the
the exact-
pepperoni.
Yeah, no, for More Than Pizza, though, I remember the exact day we were watching Garzy's Wing.
Yeah.
And that's when we first ordered from there.
Yeah.
With the fucking amazing crust.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just to hear that place got robbed, I'm like, shit.
Yeah, no.
Let me not be around here this late at night.
Bro, I mean, there's so many, yeah. Like, it's funny, that whole story I was telling about, trick-or-treating in New Haven.
Yeah.
That year, we were walking through Edgewood Park that night.
Oh, no.
And, like, people have gotten shot in that park.
That's Compton, bro.
Yeah, that's where I was walking through with the witch hat.
Like, one of my cousins had a friend who got murdered there.
Yeah, oh Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was walking with there looking very suspicious in the shadow with that hat on.
Okay, Chris was onto something.
Yeah, well that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah, I didn't really think because I'm
Yeah,
like a
like-
I'm like I think I was like no, I was probably like 13.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, just throw his hat on. But like in retrospect, I'm like, yeah, probably not a good idea.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not good. But, yeah, you live and you learn.
Yeah, exactly.
So, oh, man.
Yeah.
Like, I thought about moving into several places in New Haven, but I'm just still really skeptical. Just,
But you got to look at the neighborhood.
yeah, it's true.
There's a lot of like, you know, there's a lot of good neighborhoods in New Haven as well.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But there's also other places like Hamden that I should probably think about as well, should the time ever arrive.
True.
And yeah, I just want to live in a safe, and not even a, you know, part of me just wants to like live the city life and all that kind of stuff, just interact with a lot of different people, but another part of me wants to keep a low profile.
Yeah, I mean,
Just considering just how much shit goes on in a daily life, I don't want everyone to know where I am.
Yeah, well, it's nice living near the city too, just because like you can go in whenever you want, but you don't have to
Yeah.
be living like even like here living in my house right here. Like you drive like 5 minutes and I'm in New Haven, you know, so it's like, yeah, you kind of get the best of both worlds with it, depending on where you live, you know.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
fucking finding places to live, man.
It's tough.
Yeah,
Especially this time of like this era of COVID. Like,
yeah, it's weird.
that shit's like rough, and you know, I'm still gonna keep searching, just to test my luck. Cause like, what am I gonna do if I don't at least try? You know, I don't want to feel stuck in the same place over and over again, like I've been feeling.
True. Yeah,
So-
I mean, and like we were talking about before, like coming up on Pixel Heart, doing. I mean, you've already gotten like a decent following of like people that like fuck with your shit.
Very humbly so.
And like
so grateful.
I don't even know if obviously having that following is nice, but like the people like you've gotten that have followed you, specific people, like, you have good connections at the moment.
Huge names.
Yeah, exactly.
I have what's his name? The creator of Did You Know Gaming.
Yeah, and you got what's it called? Strawberry.
Yes, Ichigo at Astral
Yeah.
Shift. Fucking incredible pixel artist. One of the most inspiring for me.
Yeah, she's got really cool stuff.
Just to, I reached out to her one day just because, like, her style is so heavy on sub-pixel animation, which, to those who aren't familiar, is having the values and tones do a lot of the movement to create that subtle movement rather than just changing frames in animation itself.
Yeah.
As well as the anti-aliasing. And it's just so insane. Like, she just puts them out like every 3 weeks or so, and the outcome is just so fucking incredible. Like, I get inspiration, I get heavy motivation from just her alone.
Mm-hmm.
And, just to see how big she got off of doing shit like that, to the point where Crunchyroll is hiring her to do stuff.
Like a Hime.
Yeah, that like pixelated Hime gif. I was like, oh my god, I know that style from anywhere.
Yeah. It's funny because I saw that earlier on Twitter and I was scrolling, but I didn't see who posted. But immediately I was like, oh, that looks like her shit. And I was like, yeah. When you posted about that, I was like, because you saw an ad for it, right?
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube.
I saw it on Twitter and I thought, oh, that looks like her work, even though I follow her and I was scrolling down. But like sometimes you don't even look who posts something. I'm just
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I didn't even think it was an official thing at the time. I was just like, whatever. That's fucking awesome, though.
Yeah, like I woke up early in the morning and I saw that just scrolling through YouTube, because that's just a routinely habit of mine, just scrolling through YouTube in the morning, just seeing what's new. And I saw like one of those posts on Crunchyroll's like community page.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a goddamn minute. I know that artist. She
Yeah.
fucking follows me. Like, she retweeted the Sonic thing. I was like, oh my god, you did not what? And that, like...
Shout out to Ichigo.
Shout out to Ichigo. You are an amazing person.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like...
You
having...
gotta get the... Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Go on.
Having my work just liked and supported by her and other really good artists like Cam 2D, who's the guy that does a lot of Pokemon stuff, Huddaburger, who does a lot of like cute pixels as well. I'm just gonna go on a whole list. You got Gate Kid 3, you got G, aka Jisky Jasket, you got my good friend Pixel Novak, who, along with some other guys, yourself included, really helped me want to like expand my wings and like just show my pixel art to the world. Like, I'm fucking humble for that, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think in a million years something like that would happen so early. I dropped a pixel art of Tails.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just gonna get 100 or so likes, and then I wake up I wake up at 6 a.m. just because my phone has been vibrating, because I wasn't logged off of Twitter at the time, and my phone was set on vibrate just so my alarm would go off along with like the sound.
Yeah, so your phone's just like having that connection on your desk.
And then I finally woke up just to see what the hell was going on, because I know that's not my alarm. I didn't hit the snooze button once.
Yeah.
And I wake up to Twitter, and that shit's at like 1600, and it just kept going and boom, boom, boom
all day.
And my first reaction was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
I would have fucking cried. I would have been like, "Yo, this is awesome."
And in the end, it got, it goes down. It went down now gradually, just because I think that's how most Twitter posts get after.
Well, yeah, like they have a peak, and then like maybe you'll get a like on it here and there.
But it like goes down after a certain point.
Well, yeah.
But that shit ended up like with like 8,000 likes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And this was me I was only at 200 likes or 200 followers on time. So I'm like, what the fuck happened?
You're getting a lot of followers out there. You're getting like 300, right?
400. Well, yeah, 300 or 400.
Yeah, I remember, dude. I remember that day very vividly. You were hitting us up. You're like, yo, are you seeing this? And I hadn't even seen it yet because like I wake up late. So
yeah.
I remember waking up to all those texts, and I was just like, This is awesome.
Yeah, it was my first major like piece of perspective as well, just because at the start of the year I really wanted to get that practice in, because for y'all that don't know, one of my favorite artists of all time, my favorite manga artist, even though I don't follow his stuff as much as I should, I gotta get to reading Ice Shield 21, but Yusuke Murata,
Yeah.
creator of Ice Shield 21, illustrator for the official manga iterations of One Punch Man. Man's is... I don't know what that guy does. He's incredible.
Have you ever watched his drawing streams?
I stumbled upon a few YouTube videos actually this morning, just because I'm like, what is his process like?
He streams himself drawing sometimes. And
Yeah.
like, it's, I mean, these are like hours and hours long streams. Like, he has this kind of focus that like, you know... Like, just to sit there in one sitting and draw this piece, and he erases a million times. He's so, like, particular about it. You know, Yusuke Murata is, like, one of those fucking gods of anime, manga. I said anime, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, like, it just... Oh, my God. I look at... He does the one... Like, and even he does fan art, too. Like,
Spider-Man fan art. Did you see the new one?
Oh, no, he did one for No Way Home? Mm-hmm. Oh, my... I gotta see that.
I don't. It's not really. I'll show you it. It's not really No Way Home, but it's. I believe it's a new one. I've never seen this one.
Okay.
And I've looked up a lot of them, so I assume it's new.
But yeah, he does multiple fucking Spider-Man variants, and I think Marvel even picked some of them up.
Oh, really?
For each movie that came out, and just other, just comic book variants.
You know what idea you just gave me?
What?
What if like the new Spider-Man trilogy, each poster is drawn by Yusuke Murata?
Oh my god.
They're not gonna do it, but how fucking cool would that be?
I know, that'd be fucking
That'd,
sick.
like, oh man, I wish I worked at Disney, man.
Yeah.
Because I'd be pushing for that.
But not only that, he does artwork. He does fan art of like other stuff he loves. Like there's Dragon Ball Z fan art, there's Slam Dunk fan art, there's Street Fighter fan art, Mega Man fan art.
Yeah.
Like he does it all.
Yeah.
And that inspired me to create like my own interpretation of that through pixel art. So I want to create like just these really actiony compositions inspired by him, but in my style. And it's going to be a lot of games. Like for example, I did a lot from Sonic and Mario already, but I want to expand into like Cuphead and stuff like Gunstar Heroes, things that really get that action vibe in my head.
Yeah. I mean, this is something we were talking about the ROM hack earlier. Mm-hmm. I was just like, man, you know, like you look at the old games, the way they had the booklets, right?
Yeah.
I had this idea where it's like each stage we make having like illustrations for each stage, like this is one stage, and you know, like having these dynamic, really cool drawings to like represent each stage. And like, what if like when you're loading up the stage, it shows that image. It shows that image, and then music starts playing as that image comes up.
Yeah,
that would be the coolest fucking thing. Like,
are there any SMW ROM hacks that do that?
No, but you could do it. You can do anything with ROM hack, dude.
Yeah, I think the closest, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think I saw it in Sonic Saves the World.
Well, Sonic Saves the World, the title cards come up for each stage.
Yeah.
So imagine instead of a title card, it's an image.
Yeah, yeah.
You can do that. You can
yeah.
do a lot with a ROM hack. It's just the more intricate you want to go, the harder it is because you can't. You have to like do like very custom coding kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. I know that because I was at one of my friends' apartments earlier this week. Shout out to my man's Dream Kazoo.
Yeah.
Also a really good artist. One of the guys that really helped me out as well with a lot of different things. That's my boy. He showed me like just about the limits of what you can do, and the end result's insane. I don't remember the name of the ROM hack itself, but I'll message him and get back to you on that. But like, shit's wild. And I'm like, okay. The question that brought this up is like, okay, if I want to do my own if we want to collectively do our own ROM hack, like, what are the liberties we can take? Are there any limitations? Are there any things to look out for, just so that we don't go overboard with stuff and then we're just like, we can't use that due to the limitations of like what would happen in a Mario World code. You know,
yeah, I mean, you can get pretty liberal with it. I mean, I can run Sonic Saves the World on my SNES. I showed you a lot, and that game's pretty liberal.
Oh yeah.
You know, so like you can do a lot with just hacking, the code of one of those games. And so like I would be down to just like kind of go Undertale with it and like not even like at some point like using the physics of how Mario moves in Mario World to make a totally different, like not even Mushroom Kingdom, not even just its own story, like, but using the physics system and the sprites.
Yeah. And that was the idea I wanted. Like I had this idea in my head where it's that with the story of Undertale. You just have Undertale completely,
but it's just a 2D
platformer style.
Yeah.
And I thought of like the big thing for me was like bosses.
Yeah.
So like imagine fighting like Undyne or Asgore or Sans in an SMW format.
Oh, that's cool. I do fuck
insane.
with that. Like a kind of like a Cuphead way where like you're just like going, each stage is just a boss fight.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of people do. I don't know if there's a lot of Mario ROM hacks where it's just like a boss rush.
Yeah.
Where you're like you going stage to stage fighting bosses, but that would be fucking cool.
Yeah, and like I noticed with I was watching Grand Pooh Bear's playthrough of Grand Pooh World 2 a few months back, and I noticed like I forgot what stage it was, but it was
the Chuck boss.
Yeah, the Chuck boss.
Chuck boss is so
the charging
cool.
Chuck one that just throws the footballs.
He splits into three.
Yeah, just has got the Super Koopas. Like, swooping in.
It's got the TMNT,
the Turtles in Time boss battle theme playing. That's like, oh my god, we can do that.
Yeah, you can do a lot with the Mario.
And there's like
the Bowser fight at the end.
Yeah, with Geese's theme.
Yeah, where he's like shooting out walls you have to jump over.
Right.
And like, oh man. That shit is so fucking cool.
Yeah, I was like wondering, like, can I do that with Undertale bosses? Can I make sprites of each of these characters and just have them programmed to do that?
You could do it. It would be very difficult, but you could do it.
Yeah, because like whatever limitations I have to take with that, I'll do it as long as I can get it out and make it look good.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if I'm banging on the table. That's how passionate I could be about these things.
Yeah, you seem passionate. I'm looking at your eyes. I feel passionate.
Yeah, and imagine all of those amazing Toby Fox tracks composed in an SMW format, because I've heard a bunch of them on YouTube, and I'd like to implement a lot of that. Just like imagine like I know Megalovania of all of the Undertale tracks have been like done to death because it's the most popular and probably the most intricately written track on the game, because it's been a thing forever. It's been a thing since Toby's like early Homestuck and Earthbound days. Yeah. Just to see something like that, and you just have this fucking insane Sans like boss fight.
How crazy do you have to go with a Mario World ROM hack? Because like, isn't Undertale's a ROM hack of Earthbound, right?
No, I
thought it was a ROM hack, wasn't it?
I don't think so. I think it's an RPG made in RPG Maker.
Okay. See,
I just think the roots behind, and the roots and inspiration come from stuff like Earthbound and Yume Nikki.
Well, because some games are just hacks of other games, like DayZ. Like DayZ was a hack
What's DayZ?
It's kind of like a zombie. It was a really early battle royale kind of game, and then
Oh, and it became Fortnite.
it became Player Unknown Battlegrounds.
PUBG.
PUBG was a hack of DayZ, and DayZ was, I think it was like Gary's mod or whatever.
And then Gmod was
Yeah.
of Half-Life 2.
Yeah, exactly. So like, yeah, you can like, you can, as long as shit's like different enough, you can kind of get away with like, you can like, I don't know what the legality is, but people have done
it's a little wishy-washy.
But people have done it, and it's like, ah, man, like, what does it take to take a Mario ROM hack, make it so different that people don't know, and then you sell that?
Yeah, it's also like, for all the people that are fans of Angry Video Game Nerd or AVGN, you guys know what this is. Super Noah's Arc 3D, which is...
What is that?
It is a SNES exclusive, unlicensed hack of... Allegedly, an unlicensed hack of the original Wolfenstein. Because I think the developers behind Wolfenstein were very upset about how Nintendo handled their SNES port, saying that, you know, how everything was censored and the music didn't translate as well, which obviously is a thing it's just one of those things to consider when putting a game out, you know, with the SNES era. You know, it wasn't until Mortal Kombat where things really started doing that because of just like the rise of violence in video games.
Yeah.
So
now you can just fuck strippers and murder them.
Oh yeah. But I think as a fucking troll or joke, they gave whichever company their thing of Wolfenstein to create into that, where instead of shooting like Nazis and whatnot in Wolfenstein, you're using slingshots as Noah to stun the animals, so you could put them into the Ark, like in the Bible.
They made it into Wolfenstein into a biblical game.
Yeah, it was. I'm not
gonna lie, that's kind of hard.
It was in an early AVGN episode, because for every Christmas year he did like Bible games.
Yeah,
and a lot of them involved unlicensed games on either the NES or SNES.
Did he ever have the Great Animal Race or whatever the fucking was?
The Great Animal Race, what's that?
JonTron did a video on it. I thought it was something biblical.
I don't remember.
It's really janky and dumb looking. It's funny though. Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
How did we get here? We were talking about
ROM hacks.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's like why. I mean, right now I'm like maybe I would say I'm like 40% done with Super Ninjamal World.
Super Ninjamal World,
which is a Mario Maker world named after Jamal.
Named after my
and like, yeah, I would love to have like you do a piece of artwork. Like I'll commission you to do a piece of artwork for it. I don't know what it would be yet. I was thinking something Mario Land. I don't even know.
Yeah,
we're not even there with the fucking Mario. But I feel like doing something in Mario Maker is a good starting point because it's so easy to make shit.
Yeah.
Like with ROM hacks, like sometimes it's easy. Sometimes you're banging your head like, why doesn't this work?
That's what's so good about Mario Maker. You know, despite how much I bitch about the physics in comparison to Mario World, I just prefer the Mario World physics. There's nothing even really bad about Mario Maker, but
yeah,
I like that it's become such a primer for people wanting to get into Kaizo Mario.
That's what it was for me.
It's like early access now.
Dude, I got Mario Maker 1 for the Wii U back in 2015 when it came out, and immediately I started looking up videos of like what like Mario Maker stuff I was out there, and then I found Pooh first.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of Grand Pooh Bear back in 2015, and I've watched him since 2015. And then I remember later on he was playing Super Dram World, which is made by Panga.
Yeah.
And is named after a Mario speedrunner named Dram, I believe.
Yeah.
And yeah, Dram World was fucking awesome, and Pooh had the world record on it for a long time. Mm-hmm. And Pooh ran the shit out of that game. That his record in Super Dram World is kind of what elevated his Mario career.
Yeah.
And got his name out there more. And then and just like I was like, wait, ROM hacks exist? Like you can do that? And so like I started learning about that, and then but it always seemed really complicated. I didn't even know how to emulate games back then.
Yeah.
So like I was like, that's too much. Like, so I just played Mario Maker, but I watched a lot of ROM hacking stuff. And then when Grand Poo World 2 came out is where I took the leap and I started working with Lunar Magic back in 2019. Didn't really do much with it. Now I'm like kind of balls deep with this shit. But yeah, fucking Mario Maker was the primer for me that like got me into what even Kaizo ROM hacks were.
Yeah. And like I'm still such a beginner with Kaizo Mario. You know, I really only started.
You got through a good couple levels in Quickie World today, dude.
Yeah, I know, but like, that's just built-in muscle memory from the amount of levels you like had shown me throughout the years in Mario Maker.
Yeah.
You know, I don't ever consider myself a really good Mario player. I just know how to play it.
Okay, but a lot of people can't do shit on Quickie World.
That's fair.
That's not normal. That's not There's Kaizo and Mario for a reason. Like, it's fucking meant to be hard. So even beginner Kaizo is very difficult for more normal people.
Yeah.
You know, and so yeah, like watching you play today, I was like, wow, you're getting through these faster than I did. And then, but then I was like, all right. So I was racing you on my fucking handheld. I was like, I got to be ahead of you the whole time.
Flex.
I was like, it was a pride thing. I was like, I've played these levels. I can't be getting laughed.
I mean, it's despite me getting through a decent amount of levels today, like it still took a while.
Yeah.
Like I was getting through
That's Kaizo, dude.
Like I ended up getting stuck in the same things I've been doing for like ever. You know, all the while like all of this Deltarune and Mr. Gimmick music was playing.
Yeah, dude. I do love all the selection of music in ROM
It's
hacks.
so good. I didn't even know I didn't know people knew about Mr. Gimmick until then.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? People know about all these Sunsoft bangers that aren't Blaster Master?
Yeah.
Like,
I think I think my first ROM hack I'm gonna try to do in the next year of just something easy, just making levels, not anything fancy. I think I'm obviously gonna keep MF Doom. I'm gonna keep Rap Snitch Knishes as my overworld theme for one of the worlds. I want to just put. I'm definitely naming a level after Memphis Bleak. That is happening.
Oh, it has to.
All the levels are going to be completely
Just hip-hop
random,
oriented.
not just hip hop, just random shit I like. Like I'll name shit after, I don't know, fucking like a One Piece character.
Risky Brothers.
Risky Brothers. Exactly. Like it's just gonna be really weird, eclectic references. And when we were playing Make 'Em Say earlier, I had the idea of making the title card when you start the game. I'm going to make the title card in. Yeah, I mean, okay, so I accidentally clicked "Make 'Em Say by Master P to show the song I was showing, which is a Dirty South a Dirty South classic. Anybody listen to it? He's man's on a platinum tank. But I was saying I wanted to make my Kaizo world like the title screen like a Dirty South album cover, because that would be hilarious. Because I want people to look at the ROM hack and hear MF Doom as the track, and random anime and pop culture references that are like, just to be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because like if you get the reference, it's like
You're an OG.
Well, because then like it's got to be niche, or else once you get the reference, you're like, what? Did you fucking do that? Like, did you just throw out did you throw out a Risky Brothers reference?
Yeah. Like who in there? You know, it sometimes it can also be just a thing that's like mutually memed about just through us.
Yeah.
You know, like the Risky Brothers.
Galooly.
Huh?
Make a Galooly reference.
Galooly. Oh my god.
Galooly. Or I'm going to make like a fucking, what else? Like a Captain Beefheart and his magic band reference. Just Trout Mask replica.
Oh my god.
If I can get someone to recreate Trout Mask replica for a troll stage, I will pay handsomely.
Or like very generously, or like the Twin Towers Thunderbolt.
Oh, dude! Totally! Yeah! Oh man, I gotta have either like Dead Cowboy or Two Towers or Dracula Mountain.
Oh my god!
I gotta have any of those lightning bolt songs.
Or fuck it,
or just a title of it be a lightning. Dead Cowboy would be a good Mario ROM hack stage.
Or even some shit like Alice's Restaurant. Let's just throw that in there.
Yeah, no, just weird, like, what kind of fucking shit is this? Oh my god, dude. Oh, man. The thesis of this podcast is we gotta make a fucking ROM hack.
Yeah, at this point, let's just put that in the description.
Yeah. Let's make a ROM hack. That's the title of the podcast.
Yeah, let's make a ROM hack.
Well, I feel like we're almost at 2 hours. I feel like this is we talked about a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, dude. It's been
we got a guest appearance on here.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'm gonna edit that out or not because it's a bit of a pace killer.
Yeah.
But we'll see, depending on how funny it is.
For sure, for sure.
But hey, Ninjamal, good to have you. Good to have you.
Thank you. And you know.
Oh yeah, do you want to plug anything? You want to say anything as your final thoughts?
Shout out to everyone I mentioned. Shout out to all of you guys watching that can and may be supporting the podcast in the near future. You know, we love you guys. And for those that want to know what my art is looking like, what kind of stuff I do, you guys can follow me at twitter.com/Ninjamal. That's NIINJAMAL. And you can just see me there. I hope you guys see what you like, and thank you guys for the support.
Woo!